Okay, folks, Mike's Instant Movie Reviews, A Quiet Place, Part 2. No subtitle. I did not realize that John Krasinski was the writer-director behind this movie. I'm assuming he was the writer-director behind the first one, which I did enjoy. I've only seen the first A Quiet Place once in the theater when it came out, and I want to say that was early around April 2018, if I'm correct. I could be wrong, but I do remember seeing it, and that's before I got into watching a lot of The Office lately, as I've been saying. A good pal of mine told me that that's the whitest thing he's ever heard me say, that I've been watching a lot of The Office lately, but it's true. Didn't recognize him. You know, if he before the movie started, this is a non-spoiler, there was a little "Welcome back to the theater, ticket buying public" PSA from John, and that's when I was like, oh, that's the guy from The Office that I've been watching so much of lately, that I didn't watch when it was initially out on, what was it? Was it an ABC show or an NBC show? Anyway, so overview. If you're wondering, gee whiz, Mike, should I go see this film? The answer is yes, you should. Yeah, I'd say go see it. I would say if you saw the first one, I'm trying to roll down the fucking windows so I can breathe. If you saw the first one and enjoyed it, you'll probably like this one. I don't see why you wouldn't. If you haven't seen the first one, I don't know what to tell you. I suppose you could go see this one without seeing the first one. To be honest, once the second one started going that I saw tonight, and this is Thursday night, and I think Friday's like the big worldwide release, I couldn't really remember much from the first one. I'm just tired because it's late. I couldn't remember a whole lot from the first one, watching the second one. And, but I tried. I mean, I remembered, this or that. Okay, so now we're getting to some spoilers, okay, if you don't mind. I actually wrote down notes, which I've since thrown out. I actually wrote down notes on a napkin. There's a few things that I recognized that were odd to me. Spoilers. At the beginning of the movie, the John Krasinski dad character goes and buys a bunch of fruit. It looks to me like he goes to buy a bunch of fruit. It looks to me like he was picking out apples and oranges and different variety of fruits, yet somehow when he's walking out of the store, he's just got a bag of oranges, and when he goes to his car, he's eating an apple. So how did the fruit get all mixed up? Maybe that's a clue. Maybe that's some type of director's faux pas or a accidentally on purpose thing. Next thing I wrote in my notes, and I noticed this right away when they were looking at the daughter was looking at the fucking write out of the different radio stations, and the radio stations that they thought was part of this thing, it said WBRU. Now, I wonder if John Krasinski or someone else involved in this movie ever spent time in Providence, Rhode Island, between the 80s and the 2000s, because WBRU is a now defunct station, but during that time period, WBRU was W. Brown University. It was, I don't know if it was officially licensed by Brown University or unofficially, but that was the big rock station for alternative content, college rock, as it were. They would hire college kids to work there for little to no pay. They would do concerts, bands like Everclear, Three Doors Down, No Doubt was always being played on them. The song Flagpole Sitter by whoever the fuck was always being played on that station. So BRU was a prominent part of the Rhode Island experience for decades, about at least 3 decades, the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Red Hot Chili Peppers were always getting airtime. So when I saw the call letters WBRU, John, I don't know, was this a cosmic coincidence, or is there some Rhode Island thing going on here? I saw it. Okay. That station's been out of business for, I believe, 10 years at least, maybe 15. What else? An interesting creative hook, and maybe, I don't know if John wrote and directed the first movie or what, but spoilers. Interesting technique here that the father character takes we assume he just got killed. Did I miss him getting killed in the beginning? Like I said, spoilers. Did I miss him getting killed in the beginning or not? I don't know. But suddenly he's not in the movie anymore, and the kids and the mom and now they get a baby. They're all left to herself. Interesting, when mom leaves her wedding ring kind of on a wooden cross, is she signifying that she's, given up the ghost of her deceased husband, and now she's going to pursue this other guy as a potential replacement dad, a stepfather, if you would. Interesting that these monsters, they kind of look like the monsters from the Aliens movies, 30 years ago. They're creepy as fuck, of course, and they have that weird kind of walking on several legs things. They're blind monsters, but they're extremely light, hearing sensitive, and that's their weakness. If you play these high frequencies at them, their heads, like an eggplant or something, kind of get all fucked up, and then you can shoot them in the head. I guess the movie still, from what I remember of the first one, and once again, I could be wrong, I don't recall if there's any explanation where these monsters are coming from, if they're aliens. If there was an explanation, I don't remember it. Like I said, I can't totally remember the first movie. It's just been too long, and I never watched it again on video or whatever the fuck. So I remember liking the movie, but I just feel like this movie was just a lot bigger, because based on perhaps the success of the first movie, they were able to reinvest in the franchise. Let me take a little side trail here. There was some interesting trailers tonight. Salma Hayek came out. She still looks nice. Whatever age she is, still looks great. But she was pushing the bodyguard's husband's wife, or the hitman's bodyguard's wife movie. And could I be wrong, but was there a previous movie like The Bodyguard's Hitman with these cast of fools? The whoever the fucks, and Ryan Reynolds, who owns Mint Mobile, and which I actually use his service, so I get these occasional, customized Ryan Reynolds messages on my phone, which I occasionally enjoy. Thanks, Ryan, buddy. If anyone's interested in Mint Mobile, leave a comment and I'll send you my referral link, and then we'll all be happy. Nobody really takes me up on all the advice I give, by the way. It's starting to piss me off. I tell people up, down, and sideways through their asshole to get TubeBuddy. Nobody does. Nobody does Airbnb when I suggest it. So I'm just getting a little sick of that. I'm getting sick of being an influencer with no influence. Maybe that means I'm not an influencer at all. That's fine. But I'm just trying to help you fucks and get a little bit of perks in my ass. But nobody seems to do anything that I suggest. And I'm not suggesting war crimes. I'm suggesting TubeBuddy to get your fucking views up and buy my goddamn book. But no one seems to do what I suggest, by the way. Starting to anger me. What else about this movie? So I basically got spoilers again, that the kids are all right, that this movie is a way of saying that the kids must fight. The daughter's a natural born fighter. The son kind of has to come into it. He suffers an early injury with his leg getting snapped in a bear's trap. That's got to sting. That'll leave a mark. The kids are deaf, hard of hearing. Is deaf okay to say now, or is that politically incorrect? And thank you to YouTube for the nice closed captioning. And I'm sending a special shout out to my hard of hearing. Should I just say hard of hearing? I don't want to be insulting. Listeners or watchers who are now reading the captions. See, I'm pointing to the captions. I'm giving a special if you can read lips, Yes, I'm giving a special shout out to my hard of hearing watchers because YouTube's been very good about captioning. So I'm doing my best to caption as many of my videos and everything as I can to support the hard of hearing deaf community because I understand what it's like to have disabilities and so forth. So I'm trying to help out here and do what I can and enunciate, as the young woman said. And now I'm looking at my own lips. So anyway, shout out to all my hard of hearing deaf folks out there who are now enjoying these Mike Messier rants with the closed captioning that should be going on right down here, right? Here's the closed captioning. I will try not to cover my lips. If nothing else, this movie, A Quiet Place, gets you very in touch with the hard of hearing world and what would it be like if we couldn't make a noise and these monsters would kill us if we did. I thought it was a well-made movie. There was also a fucking preview for M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan, you know, he's been beating the Sixth Sense and the Signs, and his career started off hot and it's cooled off a bit. He made a bunch of movies that were declining in value, but maybe he's back on track now. We'll see. Overall, A Quiet Place 2 is pretty fucking damn good, to be quite frank. And I suggest it. So Mike Messier, subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. It's a hot summer night. We're getting towards June. And yeah, I'm in Florida and I'm okay. I'm still alive. I mean, you can see that I got this god-awfully long hair. I don't know if I could go much longer with this long hair, by the way. It's starting to affect me. I might need to get a haircut. So talk to you soon, Mike Messier.